So getting into this, the things that stick out the most are these connection points here. Um, you have the support loops on either side, and then you terminate them uh, in strange places, I'd say. I would recommend um, uh, doing something like this. Just extend them up whenever possible, instead of connecting to an adjacent point. Similar with these guys. And this, you are technically making a quad there. Not sure I would recommend that. Something like this is probably best for support loops. So then when you do go to smooth, it smooths correctly without any potential pinching. Another big thing, actually, is the lack of internal support loops. So if you were to smooth this, how subdivision works is it averages uh, the curvature between 3 points. In this case, it's averaging from here, here, and out here, and it creates a bow, like a bowing effect. Let's see if I can turn that on and show you. Less so there, a little bit more so here, where it's not completely straight across, it's sort of like bowed out. And if you add an internal, like an extra support loop, if I slide this edge out, not that way, but that way, it tends to flatten it out a bit more. Having those extra, I guess sometimes call them double loops, just for extra support. It's generally good to keep them the same, keep the segment distances the same all the way through. It just helps for general support. Same with the other side, like you would slide that out. And then when you do go to smooth, you have less bowing in it. It's more like straight flat. If that's what you're going for. If you are going for the more curvy look, then that's fine too. But just something to keep in mind there. Let's see, what else I see? Oh yeah. So you have some interesting connections, I'd say. Interesting to put it mildly. Um, this is generally not like it. It generally looks sloppy. Like, no offense, but this is not ideal. Let me not do that. Let me try something else. So select the top, and since I'm doing this in Blender, I don't know how it is in Maya since I haven't used Maya in decades. Um, it's good. It's like a good habit to get into making intelligent connections. Like when you have this giant Ngon face, it's easier to see where like the opposing points are at, and you can connect easily or more easily that way. Making connections there, there, and then when you're faced with something like this, you still have two convex faces right there. So you don't have any like wacky intersections, and you're keeping it simple. Um, you actually right. So before I do any more connections, I'll do this over here just because. Um, you also had, I think this guy was connecting over here and this guy was connecting over there. Something strange. This fits into the whole. Uh, these guys as well as the extra control loops that I guess I deleted over there. But And let me see if I can do this correctly, semi-correctly. So, so you'd want to have like a extra support loop out there to make it not crazy. And going to do this very sloppily, but you know, you'd have something like that where the extra inside support loop would connect to this point here, and you would have something similar out here. And do that. So then you have your quad corner, so it supports, and you have your inside support. Um, and then also from that point, it makes dealing with this and like wanting to connect other places much easier to achieve. So, not that guy. Do something like that, and over there. And since you do have this internal supporting edge loop, anything inside here is pretty fine when you subdivide. Without that support loop, it you'll have your any n-gons really will interact with the bevel here, since again it's all about the average of 3 points, and when the average is flat, then you can do whatever. But without that averaging, you're going to end up with some gnarly artifacts on non-supported bevels. And it's just, general good practice to get into regardless. Just support those bevels. It looks like you might have supported this down here, so yeah, that's mostly fine. Okay, so now that I've thoroughly destroyed your mesh, I'm gonna go over here and just touch on something else real quick. Let's see, turning on smooth. You had in these corners is pinching here, and that's largely due to, well, it's completely due to these guys. You have a quad corner separated into tris, and if you make this quad corner, well, look, quad, and go back into subdivide it, and it's no more pinching. Get rid of those triangles. Those triangles actually cause more issues than the n-gons. Same with this guy. The n-gon usage is good. I would still recommend, same as this other guy over here, I would recommend adding the inside support loop, not you, but you. So anything coming up from a curvature point, just make sure you add a support. So then it's flat and not crazy.